Imagine paying over $150 for a pair of shoes, only to discover they cost a fraction of that to make. This isn't a scam. It's one of the greatest business strategies in history. Nike doesn't own most of the factories that make its shoes, yet it built one of the world's most valuable brands. So how did a small company that started by selling shoes from the trunk of a car grow into a business worth hundreds of billions of dollars? This is the incredible rise of Nike. In the early 1960s, the running shoe market was dominated by European brands. Good shoes were expensive, and young American runners had very few options. One of those runners was Phil Knight. While studying business, he noticed that Japanese manufacturers were producing high-quality products at much lower prices. Believing they could compete in running shoes too, Phil traveled to Japan and secured the rights to distribute Japanese running shoes in America. Back home, he didn't open a fancy store. Instead, he sold shoes from the trunk of his car at track meets, speaking directly with runners and learning exactly what they needed. That simple idea became the foundation of a company that would change the sports industry forever. As sales grew, so did the problems. Every shipment had to be paid for before it reached America, while customers often paid much later. On paper, the business looked successful, but in reality, cash was always running short. Banks repeatedly refused to support Phil, believing his business was too risky. At the same time, his former track coach, Bill Bowerman, focused on building a better running shoe. One day, inspired by the pattern of a waffle iron, he created a lightweight sole that offered runners better grip and performance. It became one of the company's first major innovations and proved that they could create something original, not just sell someone else's products. Then everything changed. The partnership with the Japanese supplier began to fall apart, putting the entire business at risk. Instead of trying to save the old company, Phil made the bold decision to build his own brand. That brand became Nike. Soon after, a graphic design student created a simple logo for just $35, the Swoosh. Nike couldn't outspend larger competitors, so it chose a different strategy. It placed its shoes on the feet of athletes, believing that great performance would become the best advertisement. Slowly, runners began to notice, and the new brand started gaining momentum. By the early 1980s, Nike had become a respected company, but it still faced intense competition. Then it found a young basketball player named Michael Jordan. Although Jordan initially preferred another brand, Nike offered him something unique, a partnership built around his name. The result was Air Jordan. The shoes quickly became a cultural phenomenon, helping Nike transform from a sports company into a global lifestyle brand. Nike wasn't just selling sneakers anymore. It was selling ambition, confidence, and the belief that anyone could achieve greatness. Today, Nike focuses on what it does best: designing innovative products, building unforgettable marketing campaigns, and creating one of the strongest brands in the world, while independent suppliers manufacture most of its products. From a company selling shoes out of a car, Nike has grown into a global business generating tens of billions of dollars in annual revenue. Its greatest lesson isn't about shoes. It's about vision. Phil Knight didn't have a famous name, wealthy investors, or his own factory. He had an idea, the courage to take risks, and the determination to keep moving when others said no. Because in the end, people don't just buy products, they buy stories, they buy emotions, and they buy the person they hope to become. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more documentaries exploring the strategies and turning points behind the world's biggest companies.